it's Kiara with Almost Like Adulting, and I'm coming to you today with my review for Love and Hip Hop Hollywood, Season 4, Episode 6, Husbands and Wives, or whatever. So, I don't have much time, and I'm sorry this video is late. This episode actually came on Sunday, but I'm back in school now, so please bear with me. As you can see, my hair is somewhat straight. It's been raining here in Louisiana like every day, so it's not bone straight. But if you want to see that video of how I straighten my hair with Ete products, you can check that out. I will put a link somewhere up here and also in the description box. So let's just go ahead and get started. We'll talk about Solo Lucci and Sarah. There's nothing much to talk about there. She claims he's an insta dad, and they say he hasn't signed the birth certificate. Whatever, who cares? Solo Lucci doesn't really deserve his own storyline or plot, so whatever. Moving on, we see Nikki talking to Hazel E while she is dressing her toddler boyfriend. Hey, mommy, how does this jacket look? Oh, mommy doesn't like that one. That was so weird. It's very odd because it seems like the roles have kind of been reversed in their relationship, which is cool. I mean, gender norms are not for everybody, but it's very a sugar mama, sugar baby type of situation. But anyways, Nikki is talking to Hazel and saying, hey, you came at her wrong. You came off like a bully and all that kind of stuff. So Hazel actually, decided to go and apologize to Chanel, and I was so surprised because I don't think that Hazel E has good relationships with other women. She's always getting into it with other women and all that kind of stuff. I would imagine she doesn't have any sisters. But anyways, did y'all see Hazel's boobs? Her boobs in that dress when she went to go talk to Chanel really did not look right. Something was off about them. And she has fake boobs, so they should be sitting up high and nice and pretty or whatever. But I didn't like that. But Hazel E managed to squeeze out an apology. And I was like, good for Hazel. She's showing some, maturity and some progress considering how she's like 40 now. It's about time. And the whole situation was very grown woman, and Chanel was pointing out their similarities and that they should be working together, which is cool. So that situation actually was resolved rather quickly, within a matter of an episode. So I actually liked that little situation that they had going on there because it was very adult-like. Moving on, we'll talk about Fizz, Booby, Zell, and Keisha Cole. And so we see Zell, Fizz, and Booby hanging out at the pool. And Booby is finally to the point where he's going to move out of Keisha Cole's house. And a lot of that, from what I gather from the conversation, seems to be coming from a place of, I want to go out and do my own thing, and I can't bring ladies back to Keisha's house, so I might as well get my own place. So, he talked about Brooke Valentine and how he and Brooke have known each other for a long time, and it's starting to feel like things are going to become more than just friends. And then like right 2 seconds later, he's asking Zell to be his wingman so that he can have some meantime side pieces until Brooke Valentine realizes what she wants to do. That's a recipe for disaster. Just off top, I can tell. But anyways, next we see Booby with Keisha Cole, and he's like taking her to dinner to thank her for all that she's done for him. And it's like, it's gonna take a lot more dinners to make up for the stuff that you did, and to make up for all the rent of you staying at her house for, was it 2 years or a year? I don't know how long it was, but whatever. She appreciated it. She was very happy. She called for the champagne when he was like, I'm about to move out and find a place. And he was saying how, he and his son spend time in the morning getting ready for school, and he still wants to be able to do that, to be able to come over the house. And they have a really good co-parenting setup. And you can tell that they don't have those type of feelings for each other anymore. And it's just real cool to see that even though they're not together, that they are, doing right by their son, and they have an okay friendship. So that's all good. Booby says that there's some people who are interested in his in his music. And I'm going to leave that alone for now because who knows? There may be. I don't know. Anyways, let's talk about these people. Y'all, Mr. Ray and Zell and Moniece and Masika and Nia are getting on my nerves. I feel like we see Nia on the show more now than when she was in the beginning credits or whatever. But anyways, we see Mr. Ray, Moniece, and Masika at Mr. Ray's house. It looks like he's not even finished unpacking, but then we see a dude named Vic come in, and that's his boyfriend and whatnot. So he's like, well, I met Vic as soon as I moved back here to LA. And I'm like, how long has he been back in LA? Something about that doesn't seem right as far as the timeline. Like, I feel like they moved quickly, but who knows? I could be making some assumptions. I don't know. But anyways, Mr. Ray apologized for his behavior at the incident with Zell, and probably apologized for the incident at the nail shop as well. But anyways, his boyfriend Vic is kind of cute. But so they invited Mr. Ray to dinner with Zell, and things were going okay. There were a few little quips back and forth here and there until Mr. Ray brought out the DMs. So apparently, according to Ray, Zell has been hitting up Vic in his DMs, asking him for this, and that, and meeting up and showing pictures of body parts. Now, Mr. Ray loses it when Zell is like, well, how much are you paying this man to be around you? And then that's when Mr. Ray lost it. And so, Zell was just, getting under Mr. Ray's skin, and he allowed him to do that, even though, Mr. Ray threw a drink at him. But it's obvious that Mr. Ray is not about that life, that he's not a fighter. It's pretty obvious to me, so I don't know why he jumps up so much. But, come to find out, after reading some of the messages that were in, the DMs on those papers, Zell realized that, hey, I know who this is, and me and him have done some stuff before outside, I think he said. So, Vic is a jump off or something. I don't know. But it's not good. And I'm pretty sure that Zell and Mr. Ray will never be friends. But moving on, we're going to talk about Moniece, AD's friend Tiffany, and a little bit of Fizz thrown in there. But anyways, when you get into a relationship and that relationship starts taking up a lot of your time, you're going to get backlash from your friends. Now, in my relationship, me and my boyfriend have been together for 2.5 years now, and that's not the case with us because we met in college and his friends are my friends. So it's not like that with me per se, but in general, if you have a new relationship, your friends are going to give you some lip and some backlash about you spending all of your time with this other person. And Moniece says that originally Tiffany was not as vocal about her issues with Moniece, but lately Tiffany's been having an attitude. And we can see that clearly when AD and Tiffany are talking. And Tiffany is saying, hey, Moniece is monopolizing your time. And AD is like, well, I'm in a relationship. It's a balancing act and all that kind of stuff. And so Moniece shows up, and Tiffany just has this attitude like, you're supposed to be spending time with me, but you have a date with Moniece. And AD is like, well, Moniece is like an hour early. So she's trying to split her time between these two people, and we find out later she feels like she's in the middle. And she even, expresses to Fizz like, this is affecting our lives, our, intimacy time. And she didn't say that. Those are my words. But Fizz was like, nah, I don't care about that. But anyways, off topic real quick. AD's relationship with Cam and Fizz and that whole situation seems to be very nice. And with Moniece being with AD, you can tell she's calmed down, because previously she definitely would have gone off on Tiffany for having an attitude when she came up to the restaurant or the bar, wherever they were. So Moniece has kind of calmed down, which I appreciate, but I think she could be like a little bit more understanding of how your friends feel a certain way when you start a new relationship and you don't spend as much time with them. But whatever. And Moniece is under the impression that Tiffany likes AD. And AD said that they tried to do some stuff in the past, but it hasn't worked out or whatever. And all AD is asking for is for Tiffany to, support her in being with the person that she loves. And Tiffany doesn't think that Moniece is a real lesbian. She doesn't feel like Moniece is being honest about that part of her life or whatever. But moving on. I feel like Tiffany a stripper, first off? And she messed up when she started talking about the baby. So apparently, back when AD and Moniece first started dating, there was some situations where they had to get over some stuff and build some bridges. And unfortunately, AD confided a little too much in Tiffany, and now Tiffany is still using that same stuff to kind of hold over AD's head. And so that's the situation in relationships, is when you tell people about what's going on in your relationship, you tell them the bad stuff, but then don't remember to tell them that you guys, resolved it or whatever. But that's normal. But when Tiffany started talking about Cam and how Moniece doesn't spend time with him, to me, that told me that there was a little bit of truth to the idea that Moniece doesn't spend time with her son, even now. And here's why I say that. When Fizz showed up to the house to pick up Cam to go to whatever basketball practice or whatever he had, Fizz said more than once that I appreciate the way that basically AD has been the bridge between Cam and Moniece and getting them to have a stronger bond together. So to me, that says that there was still some type of disconnection with her and her son. I'm not saying that she's a bad parent or whatever. I'm not saying any of that, but that's like the second or third time this episode that somebody said something about her not being as involved in her son's life as people feel that she should be or whatever. But they resolved that Tiffany was going to talk to Moniece, which is a bad idea because Moniece is going to pop off on her, and unless Tiffany is super fast and can fight, Moniece will probably get the best of her, because I don't think Moniece is necessarily strong. She's just crazy and she catches you off guard. And that's why she gets the best of people when she has altercations, is because she's like a puma and goes from 0 to 100. But anyways, that's enough of that. And lastly, we will talk about Tiara, Cisco, and Amber. Now, we see Tiara and Cisco talking all this BS, and they're basically resolving the argument that they had last time. And Cisco apologizes as if he's not sleeping with some other girl while Tiara is acting up, or while he and Tiara are not in a good space or whatever. So, we see Cisco take Tiara to meet with a dude named Joe Exclusive, whose hair looks like a mop, and he's trying to style Tiara. And so this girl comes out, and it's Amber, the girl that we saw last time that Cisco was sleeping with, asking, "Do you love me?" and all that kind of stuff. And she comes out, and Tiara and Amber don't know who each other are. And they're like, "Oh, you're cute. What you have on is cute. Oh, yeah." And then, Cisco hugs her, and Tiara's like, "What's going on?" And so things come out, and Cisco, being the manipulative person that he is, absolutely flips everything on Tiara and says, "The whole reason I was messing with her is because since we've been back in LA, you haven't been the same person." And it's like, I don't understand why dudes do this. If you sat at a whole lake with Tiara Marie saying that, "I apologize for the way things went down. I should have handled that argument at the studio better." If you're going to have these type of conversations with her to the point where you're going to work it out, why are you sleeping with somebody else? He said that the whole situation from the time at the studio to the time that he was going to take her shopping with Joe Exclusive, that whole thing was a week. So you can't even hold out for a week until you and your girl get back on track. And it's like, people like that don't deserve to be in relationships. They don't deserve people's trust or anything like that. And so the whole situation blew up, and Tiara was about to try and fight Amber. But the thing is that I don't think that Tiara was trying to fight Amber because of Cisco. I think Tiara was upset because Amber called her old news. And Amber was crying, fake crying, if I ever seen it. She was fake crying over Cisco because Cisco was following behind Tiara instead of taking her side. And Amber is like, well, I'm your woman. Why are you following her or whatever? And so Tiara was upset, and she was trying to come out the window on Cisco for, being dishonest with her and betraying her trust. And of course, he's blaming Tiara. He's on some BS, being very manipulative and blaming her for his indiscretion in their relationship. And so, Tiara was really about to mess Cisco up. And so she said, just let us keep it professional. But for me, if it was me, we wouldn't be, working with each other in any capacity. So I don't know what the deal was on that. Anyways, that was it for this episode. It was a little less entertaining than usual. I don't know why, but whatever. Next time we see more from Ray J and Princess, who have only been on like 1 episode out of the 6, or maybe 2 episodes out of the 6. I found that weird. We see Alexis versus the Clique. And so now Alexis's beef with Masika has turned into Alexis's beef with the 3-headed monster of Masika, Moniece, and Nia. And we also see Tiara meeting up with Amber. And I feel like the way that she ended things with Cisco should have just been that. But now she's walking in on them sleeping together or whatever, and she's doing the most. So she's probably going to spiral into a bottle of alcohol or something like that. But anyway it goes, she should have just left it and been done with it. And anything more, which we're going to see what's happening, anything more than washing her hands of Cisco makes her seem desperate, and sounds bad. It's a bad look for her. But anyways, thank you all for watching. Yeah, thanks for watching. Peace out, home slices. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.